Welcome one and all to the final episode of Season 1 of Undercooked Creepypasta, the show where I pick apart creepypastas that I find bad. For the final episode of this year, I decided to go with a computer-related one, since I'm sort of a computer geek. So, without further ado, let's get into Windows 7 Kill Screen. As always, there will be a link in the description if you would like to read along for yourself. And let's just jump right into this thing. So today I wanted to use my PC for a bit, so I turned it on. It booted up normally, but instead said, "Attention, your copy of Windows 7 has had an error that could not be self-addressed. As a result, normal usage has been stopped for your computer's safety." It then ended with this: "Any repeated attempts to turn on the system will shorten the computer's lifespan." Then it powered off. When I booted it back up, the startup was normal, but the Windows 7 logo was corrupted and it took me to the same screen, but instead said, "You have requested startup without support from Microsoft." It scared me a bit, and it told me not to leave the computer on because it can result in more problems and even result in permanent corruption. Then it shut off by itself again, and I turned it on again. The startup screen was corrupted and took me to the same screen with static sounds saying, "Caution, this is the third time you have attempted to start up Windows 7. You may not use this computer until the issues have been fixed." Then the PC again turned off, and I kept it off for 2 hours, and after 2 hours I booted it back up. It emitted a loud demonic roaring sound and showed a picture of demonic Thomas and went back to the same screen telling me to shut it down, and it shut off by itself. I opened up the PC and looked at every component, but it was in perfect shape and there were no signs of an error, not even overheating as a computer would normally react to this. I plugged it back in and turned it on again with it saying, "Warning, Windows 7 will not continue startup," and displaying, "Shut it off now, or else you will regret it." Then it shut off with a loud scream coming from the speakers. I looked up stuff about it, but I saw no information about it, and just saw the normal blue screen of death, and I thought it was a sick joke by Microsoft. I turned it on and it let me enter recovery mode, so I pressed C to enter recovery mode, and it said, "Entering recovery mode, please wait." I thought it would work, but it turned off and I was mad, so I thought of a way to extract the BIOS and replace it with a new one, but there was no time and I could simply not trust an error message I had never seen before. So I turned it on to it saying, "Recovery mode has failed. Please insert the recovery disk that came with your computer." I inserted the recovery disk, and that was my last chance to save the computer. It said it was repairing the computer, but I was greeted with a nasty surprise saying this: "Recovery disk failed. Now watch your PC die." Then it said, "You kept refusing to shut down the computer, and you even somehow managed to screw up recovery mode and the recovery disk. This is your absolute last chance to shut down your PC." I tried to shut it off as soon as possible, but before I could, I was greeted with a nasty surprise, with the speakers making an extremely loud screaming noise saying, "What the heck is wrong with you?" I was then greeted with this: "Your PC has been destroyed and will now shut off automatically. Thanks for using this PC and see you next click." It then shut off, making a crash sound, and I threw every component of it in the trash. So, where do I begin with this one? Oh man, you see, the one thing that I never got or understood with these, these kill screen videos is that I wouldn't sit there and stubbornly restart the system every time it shut off and said, "Don't do it again or you risk ruining your hardware," right? I'd be calling motherfucking Geek Squad out in this bitch to see what the hell is going on with my machine. I'd be calling, you know, if it were, because I've seen like PS2 and PS3 kill screen, I'd be contacting Sony support, I'd be contacting Microsoft, I'd be contacting Nintendo support if it were like my Wii or some shit doing this. Like, I'd be calling some numbers, because I don't want to piss away the hundreds of dollars that I spent to get this system, because I'm stubborn and an asshole and I keep turning my system on even though it tells me to keep it off or risk hardware failure. I just don't want to do it. I don't know. I don't know. Suspension of belief, I guess, with these stories. I don't know. And another thing I've noticed with some of these is that the messages, the error messages, are written in a almost infantile manner. Even when they get more aggressive, it needs to have the same cadence as your typical Windows error. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't give you an error saying, oh, you kept refusing to shut down your computer and you somehow managed to screw up recovery mode and recovery disk. If nothing were truly working, it wouldn't give you a goodbye message saying, like, your PC has been destroyed and it will now shut off automatically. Thanks for using this PC and see you next click. See you next click? That's so stupid. But it wouldn't give you a message like that. It just would stop working completely. It cut off, no warning, no bullshit. But then again, it's a creepypasta. I've gotta ground myself in that creepypasta alternate reality where things don't work as they seem in the real world. The only thing I can see like hardware failure wise would be like a hard drive or an SSD, solid state drive, something gradual like that where your computer starts to slow down a lot, like real sluggish, and then you check your task manager and you look at the disk usage and it's like at 100%. Anytime your computer's doing something the slightest bit strenuous. Like, that kind of gradual hardware failure does happen. But changing a hard drive or a solid state drive is one of the easiest things in the world as far as computer repair goes. I think someone out there has the capability to make a story about a kill screen actually work and be effective and provoke the reader in some way. The only thing that's provoked out of me is a couple of giggles and some laughter. I think the writer does have the capability to make this story work if they just sat on it a little bit longer, mulled some more things over, didn't give it such infantile dialogue from the system itself. And it does seem like they know a little bit about their computers, you know, extracting BIOS and all that, because there's a tool out there called BIOS_extract, you know, and it's a tool that's designed to extract specific modules from proprietary BIOS images or UEFI images. So it is somewhat grounded in reality. It's just the PC would just stop working immediately and cut off if there was really something wrong going on with the hardware. If there was hardware damage, if there was some kind of shit going on, then it wouldn't give you a warning and say goodbye and then cut off. It would just be instantaneous. Plus, Demonic Thomas? Really? I don't need to say any more than that. So, what do I give Windows 7 kill screen on the shitometer? Well, I gotta give it 2 out of 5 dog shits. While you can make a good story out of this, the execution was just goofy and not well thought out or well written. Anyway, that does it for me for this year with Undercooked Creepypasta. I hope to see you all next year with a fresh batch of this Undercooked goodness, because this has been fun to revisit. I enjoyed doing this again. It's been a few years, and I think I've gotten a good balance of when to do this and when not to do it, because I tried to do this series every month for a couple of years, and that's why I got burnt out of this series specifically and moved on to other stuff. So bringing it back annually, I hope will keep the series fresh for not just myself but for you guys as well. And yeah, I hope you all look forward to next year, Season 2. There will be a link in the description to our Discord server. You can join and become a part of the community, and there's an Undercooked Creepypasta section where you can request stories for next year's batch. So go check that out, and I hope to see you all there. Have a good day or good night, and I will see you all next year. Sweet dreams.